What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and we're coming back at you today with more Danmachi. Now, as the title kind of shows you there, we are a little light on datamines today. We have some, we'll talk about them, but there's actually a big piece of news, and I mean a huge, insanely massive piece of news that we're going to talk about at the end of this that is going to affect people that are really aiming for really awesome scores. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But first, let's get down to it. Most of this, in fact, I want to believe all of this, is actually going to pertain to Familia Rush. So here's a bunch of random assets. I believe these are all part of the dragons that are going to show up in Familia Rush. So really, this is like the main chunk of it. You know, we're not getting any new banners at the moment. We're not getting anything really inventive. I wouldn't expect a huge amount of content for at least another 4 or 5 weeks until basically we get the, I'd say at this point 4 weeks, until we get the anniversary. And yes, we are getting really, really, really close to the anniversary, guys. So, what do I mean by all this? Well, to talk about the anniversary and talk about what to expect, and they even some people got on to me because I didn't talk about it in yesterday's video. So I'll talk about it right now real quick before we get to the rest of the data mines. Basically, they did confirm yesterday on the live stream that from now until the anniversary, don't expect any new content. We're going to get majorly reruns. We're going to get, you know, stuff for from 3rd anniversary rerunning. Will that bring new units like it did last year? I personally hope not, but it might. So be mentally prepared for that. I resisted summoning on that banner too badly, and it didn't cost me insanely over time, but it did cost me a little bit. But if new units drop, we'll talk about them. But of course, we'll talk about every banner as it prepares to drop. But a lot of your units, a lot of my people that are new at this game, a lot of the units over the last year are going to start dropping in rapid succession. And while some of these units are really phenomenal, I'd say at this point you can probably skip all the Record Buster units. As great as they are for Record Buster going forward, honestly, they're all general pool, and honestly, everybody that comes on the anniversary is going to introduce new stuff and be way better. So any Record Buster unit, I'd say you could pass on. Some of the Wargame units, we'll talk about those like as they drop in and of themselves. And yes, I do kind of expect some time-limited reruns. Spoiler alert, maybe, possibly. I believe the reruns are actually starting later this year than they normally do. So we'll see how that plays out. But I do expect some time-limited reruns. I do expect, you know, a lot of the anime unit reruns. I do expect a ton of reruns, and they're just going to try to milk us for all of our Iris. Resist as best you can, but if there's really good stuff, we will most assuredly talk about it. But jumping back into, and that's, like I said, for the next few weeks, just till the anniversary drops, which is mid-June. But jumping back into the data mines, these all look like assets from the dragons for the new Familia Rush. Of course, Familia Rush drops tomorrow. I will drop my video on all the new units as they go live. Here's the little banner for it. Like I said, nothing really crazy here, and that's why we're doing this kind of in a... we're not doing the Google Drive and all that this time, because there's really like 5 images total that we have. So this is one of the backgrounds for it. This is another one. Actually, I really like that background. I might save this for like something later on. But then, of course, the final background. And these are just the Colosseums that you're going to fight in. So nothing really groundbreaking there. Not a huge amount to talk about. Now, the big one, and this is really big. Now, this is not a data mine. This is coming directly from the JP Twitter. Okay? So let me go ahead and click Translate Tweet here. Update notice. We have updated the app for version 11.02. Added skill flow function to 7th zone. Yes. So now in 7th zone, if you're one of those people that's going after a top 10 score, you can literally set skill flow and just let your units go wild. I love this because I do like, you know, fighting 7th zone and going a little forward in that. This gives you a little bit of information to work with. But the biggest issue that I've always had in 7th zone is that you do have to manually run the hard fight. And if you're going for a top score, if your RNG just isn't good, then you've got to do it over and over and over again. It's not bad. Obviously, most people are not truly, honestly going to be affected by this. But if you're somebody that is going after a high score, this is going to sincerely help you guys out massively. So expect a video on 7th Zone skill flow coming up here really, really, really soon. So it's pretty much everything. But that to me is a massive, massive improvement, because I'm always trying to like see if I can go top 10 in 7th Zone. And I'll be honest, like I said last week, I got really lazy about it after a while because I just didn't care as much. But yeah, this actually is going to turn me around. This is going to make it so much more lucrative and so much more interesting. And frankly, now the battle for top 10 in 7th Zone is going to be real. Why do I say that? Well, like I said, if you get bad RNG, you can now auto-run that beast. It doesn't cost you any stamina either. So you can just auto-run that thing until you get what you want out of it. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. This completely changes the landscape of 7th Zone, at least in the top 10 ranks. If you're not top 10, you're probably not going to be affected by this at all. But I will tell you this, guys. If you set a skill flow, if you take the time to do that, you can now auto-run 7th Zone. Whether that's worthwhile or not, if you're just running it once or twice for the S-Clear, I don't know what to tell you in that regard. But having this functionality is probably not going to change things for most people, but for, you know, a lot of those people fighting for the top 10 slots, that is huge, 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 huge. So anyway, that's the video. I won't harp on it too much. Like, comment, share. I got more coming out for you guys tonight, and of course we have the live stream tonight. We'll be finishing up the new tale. It is hilarious. We were laughing like crazy yesterday as we were watching it. So hope to see you guys then. And new game coming to the channel today. I've said too much. Oh, merch. Y'all haven't seen the new shirt. So those that stayed to the end, you asked for it. It's here. The Toad. Check it out in the comments and the description down below. I'm mad at everyone that made me do this.